This is just some weird fanfic my childhood friend wrote. I don't know if he just inserted Madoric everywhere or if this is actually an original writing, but I just thought it would be funny to do a reading on it. Uh, Bear in mind, I might mispronounce some words or there might be misspellings here and there, so that's gonna cause me to hiccup. But yeah, enjoy. Okay. A true god of war. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay.
A true god of war, of conquest, and of control. He was a seeker of vengeance and called himself Madoric, the Doe. Chapter 1. In the year that saw the Legion thrown to the ground, when the world was split asunder, and the storm of Armageddon covered the earth, from the wastes and sands arose a new order, an army of demons and half-humans, the Tempus Fugere, led by Madoric, the Doe. Armed with the foulest of weapons, they conquered hell, scattering the lives of those who defied them to the howling winds. For long years, he and his kin marched at the forefront of the hellish army, reaping a bloody tally against those who resisted. He called himself Madoric, the Doe. Chapter 2. Against the ruthless Evoker, he turned his face in the battle of blood. The Evoker was defeated and banished. His faithful fled, and the way was open to Armageddon. Into the fiery gates he strode, and when the hellish throngs assailed him, Madoric, the Doe, in his wrath, spoke the unspeakable name. Lo, those I heard trembled in fear, and as he strode through the black halls of the infernal keep, all denizens of hell trembled and were silent, for they knew that Madoric, the Doe, had come in the flesh. With antlers and shield he brought the end of all that faced him, for he was the harbinger of the final day, when the sun rises in hell. None saw him and lived to tell the tale, but he was Madoric, the Doe. Chapter 3. His last great act of power brought hell itself to its knees, as the legions of hell rallied, and on the precipice of their final defeat, Madoric the Doe, in his wrath, swore the final oath. From the depths of his fury, Madoric called upon the pit itself. From the jaws of Hades, he howled forth the last word, and with his antlers, he opened the gates of the underworld. The legions of hell, in full retreat, fled into the pit before his might, and Hades itself drank the blood of the dead and dying. With his final breath, in a rage of fury and violence, Madoric the Doe brought fire and death to the very gates of the pit, casting himself into its abyss. Chapter 4. As the forces of light closed in around him, Madoric the Doe swore a final oath. With antlers and shield, clad in pelts of deer, he turned his face toward the light. As he charged, the sentinel armies broke before his might. He alone fought his way through the very gates of the tower. Madoric the Doe climbed the steps, step by step, higher and higher, until he stood upon the very summit of light. When they saw his face, all were silent, for the one they had sought was now at their door, the vanguard of darkness, Madoric the Doe. Chapter 6. Then, in that dark hour, Madoric the Doe cast his antlers to the ground and shattered the silence, declaring himself a warrior of light. He renounced his darkness, his wars, his conquests, and all his victories. Then, to the astonishment of all, Madoric the doe surrendered his antlers and vowed his loyalty to the light. The sky split open and fire rained down from above, and Madoric the doe became as he had once been, pure of heart and radiant. From the west he came to this realm, the land of the final crusade, bearing the final word of the vanquished legion. And there, under the white tree, Madoric the doe raised his voice and declared, "I am Madoric, expect me." Come on, where's the... Here we go. Chapter 6. It was with fire and steel that we cleansed our world of the darkness, and with fire and steel we will maintain our vigil against its return. For many years, Madoric the doe united the kingdoms of darkness and light, for he alone could call each his home. But with each passing day, the fragile peace between good and evil grew weaker. On one fateful night, a challenger emerged who promised to return the kingdom of darkness to its former glory. Madoric the doe stared deep into his eyes and saw a reflection of his past, a childhood friend. He called himself Hellsing, devourer of worlds. Chapter 7. Hellsing was motivated only by an unquenchable thirst for conquest. He saw weakness in Madoric. He sung of a prophecy that promised the universe to the destroyer of peace, and he believed himself to be the one foretold in the prophecy. In his path to conquest, he turned the seeker from his path of light and forced him to question his own righteousness. He murdered the gods of old and became a new one. Doing this, Hellsing wrestled command over the forbidden spells, which he used in his final duel with Madoric. In the final battle, Madoric the doe put up no resistance. He merely spoke of a better time that the universe would one day inherit. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and accepted his fate. Hellsing buried him that night with fury in his blood. He set his eyes on conquering the lands of the light. Hellsing screamed into the sky, "I am Hellsing, destroyer of peace." Chapter 8. But Hellsing was wrong. The prophecy was not about him. It was about the person whom he killed. Blinded by rage, Hellsing had invalidated the prophecies. For the first time, a deep and evil freedom permeated the universe. The freedom to decide at every moment something that had not been written in advance. Believing himself to be the destroyer of peace, Hellsing gathered an army unlike any other and approached the gates of light. He shouted, "I have defeated Madoric the doe. The fragile peace he brokered is no more. Expect me."
Whew, okay. That was quite a bit. Oh well. Well, yeah, that's it. See ya.